Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, August 20th, and welcome to another episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is the founder and creator of her own business. She is black owned, and not only that, a black owned business, but she is from the UK. Joining me today, Fashion Dolls, we are going to talk fragrance, what they mean, our favorite fragrances, and what they do for us. So, she created me my own personalized fragrance. I'm super excited, Fashion Dolls, for our very special guest today. Joining me all the way from the UK, we have Salvaged in Bermuda. And yes, she sent me my own personalized air linen and more fragrance mist, and I could use it on my body as well too, with all of the notes that I love. And some of the notes that I love are jasmine, some of them are vanilla, some of them are sandalwood. I like a number of things and then some. If you guys follow my story, you guys know every day I do the scent of the day, and today's scent of the day I chose is Beautiful Belle by Estee Lauder. And I absolutely love gardenia. It is something about the smell of gardenia. So the fragrance that I'm wearing today is Beautiful Belle by Estee Lauder, and I layered it with Fairy Tale. So I'm always layering and mixing different body creams and different body oils as well too. That's why my skin is all glowy all over, because I used Victoria's Secret Pink's coconut highlighting shimmer body oil. And when I tell you, if I wear something that is off the shoulder, or that is like what I have on today, which is mesh, it really does something for my skin. So appreciate it. Hi, Vontae. Make sure you guys please go and check out Vontae and our interview. We did an interview not too long ago, so make sure you guys please go and check that out. I am about to faint. I had to put my fan on a little bit, y'all. So please forgive me. So without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest. We are going to talk fragrance today. Salvaged in Bermuda, all the way from the UK. Now, I finished the personalized, customized fragrance that she sent me, so that I had to bring the bottle on so you guys can see what she's going to be giving you when you purchase from her. But yeah, she customized a scent for me, and we're going to talk about the notes and everything, some of her favorite notes as well too. So without further ado, Fashion Dolls, join me as we welcome our very beautiful, very special guest, the fabulous Salvaged in Bermuda. Salvage, make sure you go update. Go update. It won't let me add you. It won't let me add you. So in the meantime, I need you guys to go and also check out Vontae's EP, which drops next month, and the title is called Got Love. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hopefully I'm going to have him back on the show sometime in September, so that we can set something up dishing on this EP. I can't really get it out. On this EP. I really wanted to touch on that, because we have the DNC. Today is day 2 of the DNC. Now, if you guys been following my stories, I've been keeping you guys up to date on what's going on with this upcoming election cycle and things like that. Salvage, go to Play Store and update, and then come back, because it's not letting me add you. And what else was I about to say? Patti LaBelle is supposed to be performing at day 2 of the DNC tonight. So you guys know how big of a fan I am of Patti LaBelle. She's the reason why I wear my nails long as I do. Her and Coco from SWV are the reason why I wear my nails this long. Alright? So, without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to the fabulous Salvaged in Bermuda.
Here we go.
Wait a minute.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hi, lovely. How are you?
I am doing wonderful, beautiful. How are you? Trying to get my tripod set up straight.
Okay. Yeah, if my
Camera is not the best, you know why. I'm sort of kind of switched between my laptop and
my phone, so hopefully this is good.
I can see you. I can see you and I can hear you.
Oh, I've got my sort of feel good corner here.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, can y'all see me and can y'all hear me? Perfect. Hi, everybody. Welcome if you're just coming in. All right, so we are here with Salvaged in Bermuda. And today she is going to be dishing on the scent that she customized for me, which is sort of like a linen spray. And not only just a linen spray, but you can also use it on your body as well, too. So before we get into that, how has 2024 been for you so far?
Oh, busy, busy. I think at the start of the year, like everybody else, it's like, okay, I can't wait for the new year to kind of map out what type of, kind of plan or schedule I'm going to have. And also, being a mom, family, it can
Yes.
be overwhelming. So I try to sort of let things sort of happen as they should, but also seek help if I need it, because sometimes we tend to kind of stay in our heads a lot without realizing
Yes.
we can ask for help. And so I'm slowly managing that and being able to say, let me handle what I can. What I can't, tomorrow is another day. But,
Definitely, if you have family and a business, it is a balance altogether because I tell people that all the time. You have to make sure that you are being able and capable to do it both. But since we're both women, it's just like a natural instinct to us. We're able to balance things out and get things done. So it's human nature.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I always have to resort to always bedtime, have my spray,
Mm.
so I it's all about grounding ourselves. I wish I always say I wish I had I'll say the opportunity every day to do my nails. They're not gonna look as pretty as yours because I cook, I wash dishes, so I'm constantly saying, okay, you know what? If I paint my nails within a day, they look like I was digging for potatoes. So I said, you know what? Forget I forget this, but self-care is so important. How we feel, how we look, and all of that is pretty much all about being human, really. And so we do the best we can. And I think this journey of special smells, certain smells, or scents in
Yes.
general, we connect with them as people because they're, I'll say, a main factor to really our identifying pleasant things and unpleasant things.
And not only just that, but that's the second part I wanted to tie in with you. Scents take you to a certain place. And you mentioned
Yes.
nails, so self-care. Scents
Yeah.
is a part of self-care. And my guest that I had on the show last week, I don't know if he's still here, Vontae said the same thing. He says when you look good and smell good, you feel good. And it is not only
I
that, but it's a reflection of you. Your scent, your signature scent that you wear, whatever perfume or fragrance that you like to wear, is a reflection of you. And scents sometimes take us to a certain element. And it may be, okay, it make us think about our childhood. The scent of, let's say, jelly beans might make us think about childhood. The scent of vanilla or strawberry might make us think about our favorite drink or a certain dessert that we like to eat. All of these things is reminiscent of something. So for you, what are some of your top notes that you admire and love, and what do they make you think when you smell them?
Oh, this takes me to my childhood again. So having grown up around herbalists and, because, in our African culture, a pharmacy is a last resort before you go to the hospital.
Yes.
So, grandmother, would mix a concoction. You've got a tummy ache. You've got, all sorts of, ailments that obviously as humans we will, sort of encounter throughout our lives. And so I remember, I'll say there's it's called a vetiver. It takes me so much into a space where my grandmother, the smell of it, and bless her heart, she passed away when I was young. So
Sorry.
I when I actually have that smell, because she used to kind of mix the root and they soak it in water as something to, kind of remedy, tummy ache or etc. And so they actually is available in essential oils. And this is one of the things that I've sort of admired with sort of modern technology in terms of the research that's been done, because certain species of the plants that grow around the world, every region has something special and specific. And so I've been able to kind of connect with some of my childhood to certain smells that I can smell in essential oils, and I can sort of have and enjoy those in some of my fragrances. So that's number one. And the second one that I absolutely love, and this has also become popular, is oud. Oud.
Oud, yes.
Yes. So it's one of those amazing and very unique scents. It derives from the agarwood tree, which is also native to India and some parts of Asia. And it's widely used in the Middle East, and they use it for spiritual and religious purposes. And
Yeah.
I can, honestly say that sometimes where you literally feel out of balance. And that particular one, when I actually spray, whether I'm meditating or just in my quiet moment, I feel a certain energy flow and also elevation, and where I'm overwhelmed and everything else, and it sort of takes me away from that space of feeling really down, and so that's one of the ones that I've really, really sort of come to love and appreciate. And I've been sharing more of that with a lot of clients. And some of the properties that it helps with is sort of depression and anxiety. And it is quite powerful. So, yeah.
And when you're in an element, because you said meditation, when you're in an element and in a place where you smell something, it brings a sort of joy and happiness to people. For me, the scent of cucumber does it. I love
Yeah.
cucumber melon. That is a scent for me that brings me joy or happiness. Or not just that, it could be pineapple. It could be all of these different bright, colorful fruits or flowers that give you a certain type of joy. It's like a pheromone. When you smell it, it brings up something in your mind. And for me, when I smell cucumber melon, I think of middle school. I think of high school. I think of my years attending school. That would be a scent that I would always wear. It was cucumber melon. So it brings all of these memories back to me. Now that I'm in my 30s, in my adult years, I'm just like, wow, I used to wear this because it also brings a memory back to you. Like you said, childhood. So for me, it could be that, or it could be a certain place. It can take you to a certain place. So that's what fragrance does. Now, you customized linen and more spray for me, and I absolutely loved it. This beautiful woman reached out to me, and it was through one of my colleagues, Frances, who's a good friend of mine. She reached out and she set us up in the interview and everything. And then one day she reached out to me, Salvaged reached out to me, and she
Yeah.
said, "What are some of the scent notes that you like?" And I just sent her a number. She said, "Don't just send me one, send me more." So I just sent her a number of all of the things that I love. I love lavender. I love
Yeah.
coconut. I love vanilla. She said, "How do you feel about ylang ylang? How do you feel about this note?" And she was just giving me suggestions. This linen spray, you guys, I finished the entire bottle. It was sweet, it was sultry, it was decadent. My mom smelt it because it came all the way from the UK. It was double wrapped in the package. And my mom was like, "Oh, you got a package over there." And so I let her smell it. It was all in the package. And she said, "Oh my God, this is what you put together." And those what she used every one of the notes that I sent her. And she customized this fragrance right here for me. So before we get to the customization of my fragrance, what made you get up and decide to say, "Okay, I want to start a business"?
Oh, this is it. Being in corporate, I spent almost 17 years working in, I would say, the financial services sector. A part of me was dying slowly because I recognized that, not only do you have one life to live, it is how your career is decided by someone else. And I felt that I had more to offer. And again, in that stressful times, I always resorted to my essential oils, using these natural remedies, etc., to manage my own stress while I'm working, for someone else in a very stressful job. And some of my friends had breakdowns, etc. And I recognized they knew, they felt this way. This was not an environment that was no longer, that was actually serving them anymore. And they had to make changes. So most of the people that I started out in my, early 20s in the same career, I had already moved on and found other ways to kind of work. I would say a career that was not as stressful. And I did not realize that, we had high tolerance of stress, but that shouldn't be encouraged because they say, oh, it's another day. But I just, a point where I just said, this is a lot, it's too much. And then, so when I moved over to the UK, I did have a contract with another firm, and so things didn't work out. And so within that 6 months time frame, I was really, really questioning. And I think sometimes when the divine really wants you to, you are called to do something else.
Yeah.
You already have you have the resources. It's just there's something you say, okay, comfort can be a bad thing sometimes. Where you say, I'm okay, I've got a career, but there's something that's just, I felt empty. I absolutely felt empty with everything I accomplished. But one of the things I, kind of started to check on myself, how do I feel when I'm not there? How do I feel when I'm, sort of analyze self-analysis to see how do you feel in certain environments? And it's just confirmation. When I started, working with my sprays, I would do it obviously for friends and something that I did for myself. But the more I shared it, the more people wanted more. And so I said, well, it looks like the divine is answering my, my question and, which direction should I take? And so I decided, okay, there are, I would say, 3 things that we sort of kind of care about now, making sure that you sort of, you're within yourself to say, I am going to be bold enough to do something and and let's see what happens. And so pretty much like plunging in a black hole and hoping that things will be okay. And on the other side, I realized I have no idea what I was afraid of. And here I am.
And look at you now. And you're a mom, you're successful, you're beautiful, and what else I love is that you're a black woman, and we know how black women, it's difficult for us, especially with starting our businesses. And I was reading stats saying that more and more black women are starting businesses in the United States of America. You're in the UK, and I have another girlfriend who's in the UK as well, Two Mel's Desserts. And I was like, wait a minute. Now, I've seen black women in America start their own baking companies and things, but in the UK, you're making a name for yourself over there, and everything is male dominated. From the beauty industry to the entertainment side, you're making a name for yourself. So, Salvage, what are some of the challenges as a black woman that you've been through to get where you're at now, having this successful business?
Yes. Oh, I can just say, even from Korea, career wise, it is, again, male dominated. I found myself, almost like in a corner, not necessarily growing and elevating the way I was hoping for. And the bar kept on shifting. Then I realized, okay, no matter what efforts we make, it's never enough. And sometimes, no matter how educated you are, no matter what you have to bring, there's also that feeling of, your point doesn't matter. No one wants to listen. And I think partly, saying, I'm going to do this because I always feel a sense of duty. I think just to say, as a woman, a black woman, I have a responsibility to empower and encourage other black women or other women to find something, make an impact that is within your means. So if it means, you don't listen to everybody else and just listen to yourself and say, I'm going to do this. Find resources and be around people that will listen to you and walk away from those who won't listen to you. Because once you start breaking that confidence, your antennas are up. People question, who are you? Who is she? And I think it's empowering that more and more Black women, more and more women are making a name for themselves, realizing if we don't live the life that we want in this short lifetime, we're never going to make it. And we need to empower girls. I've got a girl, she's 9. And so in this journey, she has been a part of it. And, sometimes I sleep, midnight, and she's gone to bed, and I was I'm doing this for us and I'm doing this for you because I wanted to realize no one is going to give you anything. You have to go out there and get
And girl, with us being black women, we have to work twice as hard. I've already said one thing, which is everything is male dominated, and it can be in any field from tech companies. Men own more, from vehicles to cars. All of these things are male dominated, and it's just like, especially if you're a black woman, and we're seeing that now with down here in the United States with our Madam Vice President, soon to be hopefully future President Kamala Harris. We're seeing what she's experienced, and because we're black women, it's called misogynoir. It's not misogyny; it would be misogynoir.
it.
So, with us getting in these higher positions of power, it can be at the Fortune 500 company. It can be the president of the United States. We're going to face racism. We're going to face misogyny. We are going to face all of these things, especially in the beauty industry. There's definitely racism. Then what you're doing, you're in the beauty industry. Fragrance is a form of beauty because it brings a certain look to it brings a certain thing to your aesthetic. What you like, what do you want to smell like? It makes you feel good. When you smell good, you look good. But we know that there are hurdles in this business as black women because one, they don't want us in these spaces, and our voices are needed. And I love what
Yes,
you just said also too, which is I'm doing this for for your daughter, because when
yes,
she grows up, she has her family. It's like, okay, I want to inspire the next group of young black women and the next group of young black women. And I said this last week on my show. Cycles begin because
yes.
when you are laying out the groundwork for the next girl and the next girl, there's going to be somebody else that's going to come along and sit in my same seat. So yes, I'm styled by Stevie for now. I'm here today, but anything could happen. So I got to make room for the next girl that is going to be a talk show host, and the next girl that is going to be a journalist or aspiring influencer. You got to make room for the next one. And last night at the DNC, who was it? I think it was Maxine Waters. She said that Fannie Lou Hamer and Shirley Chisholm, Kamala Harris stands on their shoulders. And as black women in our lives, our moms have been the ones that, okay, they laid out the groundwork for us so that when we grow up, we get married, we have husbands or whatever, and we have our families. You got to stand on your mom's shoulders now because your mom laid out the groundwork. She said, okay, if she's teaching you about the business, because my mom didn't know anything about, hosting a talk show or appearing on a radio station or doing a radio show or writing for a magazine publication. She didn't know anything about that. So I had to just learn my own way, but my mom was there to encourage me along the way. And when we have our mothers in our lives, because we are our mother's daughters, they encourage us and they let us know, like, okay, I'm proud of you, what you're doing. I didn't have that opportunity, so I want you to create your own opportunity out here for you and your family. And those are some of the challenges that black women have to face, not just sexism, but racism as well too. Being told, okay, you don't fit the quote unquote aesthetic of what we're looking for. And that has happened in this beauty industry. And I've seen claims of beauty brands saying, okay, they get backlash for it because they put a white model in place. And it's just like, as a black woman, when you're flipping through any magazine, it's just like, wow, I don't feel represented. Whereas now, as far as diversity, and we're seeing the push even in the fashion world, and I'm coming speaking on the fashion world side, you're seeing that push of representation and beauty in every shade, every hue, every shape, every size, every hair color. Because for us as black girls, Salvage, black women, we have various hair textures. And I've had the
Yes.
conversation with one of my girlfriends not too long ago. And we were, Shayna J, and we were talking about this, how black women were not a monolith. And even in the beauty side, we look, when we see these commercials or we go down an aisle and we see the women on the box of whatever, it may be hair color, whatever, it's just like, what do I do? So beauty
Yeah.
is so diverse now, whereas back in the day, it was just like,
Yeah.
okay, for me growing up, it was Naomi Campbell, seeing her strut down the catwalk in the 80s.
Yes.
That was beauty to me. And if not
Uh-huh.
her, then it was Eartha Kitt or Diane
Yes.
Carroll or Grace
Right.
Jones or Pam Grier. That's what the women that I grew up seeing. And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, wow, finally a brown girl who looks just like me. So in the beauty industry, representation is key because we want to feel represented. We want to see ourselves. And sometimes, half of the times, they don't represent us. It's typically a model who is European. So this ties all into the conversation of beauty. So my next question for you is, Savage, do you think that we've evolved in the beauty industry? As black women, we're seeing more representation of us, not just in the beauty world, but in the fashion world as well, too.
Sure. I think there is a huge awakening where if it takes law to make people think twice, because the consumers of these brands include these are global brands. So in a global community, why would you have just a particular model that does not represent your global brand? Because if you're going to sell something in South America, in Africa, wherever, you will encounter the global community, which is diverse. So this is where we are actually seeing, I think, a shift even in our voluntarily saying, if you're not going to represent our people, I'm not gonna buy your brand. I'm not. And so with the boycotting, that's a message from the consumer saying, if you don't represent us, and it makes me smile because I realize, for so long it's been, a certain demographic represented, but the sales come from the diverse
That
community, and
part.
you see what I mean? And so we are literally paying, these CEO salaries with our own handed money, but there's no representation there. And so I think it's something that is shifting. And
Yes.
again, we have power to say, I'm not going to buy your product just because I don't feel that it's representing the global community that we are.
Right.
And I see that shift, and it makes me smile. So I'm happy to see that more and more consumers are advocating for that change, and then companies have no choice. Even if in the background or whatever, the back office, whatever decision they make, just to kind of look good, but the reality is that people are pushing back, and I love that.
Absolutely. And as black women, I said this last week on the show with Tika G when we did our girl talk. I said, black women, we are the key consumers of everything from hair to makeup to every eyelash, every curl. We are the key consumers to that. So our opinion is definitely valued. Hi, Nurse Chula, because we buy your products. And when we buy your products and we wear your products, we're wearing your brand. So
Yes.
give us what we want. We are the consumers. We purchase your products and we're going and referring your brand to our family members who are out here purchasing the products also as well too. So it's word of mouth. My cosmetology instructor, she taught me that. She said when you have a client and that client tells, okay, my stylist did my hair very, very good, they can refer word of mouth. They said they'll ask because when we have these conversations, I have these conversations with my girlfriends too, and they're just like, if you go to a hairdresser, and it's like, girl, who did your hair? I need to go. I want to go to the stylist, and they'll give me a stylist name or shoot me the card, like boom, boom, boom. Go and check them out. We're now in a day and age in social media, and that takes an impact on the business as well too, because word of mouth. When you put it out there, and your following listens to that, like they tell you, okay, she tried this product. I want to go and try this product. Boom, boom, boom. So it's all about imaging and that
Yes.
diversity, as you stated. You're mentioning one demographic, but you can't forget about the black women
Oh,
demographic, because we spend we spend
yeah.
millions of dollars on cosmetics on a daily. Black women, we are the highest when we purchase this.
Yes, yes. Oh, right on that. And I think, as I mentioned, also that awakening and Black women now were now conscious consumers, and we realize, that before I actually buy, let me take a look at what this company does. And I think the more we are conscious of that, and I think the more we can actually create that wave of saying, you have no choice if you want, your profits. Might as well, and seeing these startup companies as well that produce products for Black women, Black women, or people of color in general. I think it's actually, it's a new day, and people are realizing, you cannot control the market. You cannot control the market. We as consumers, can make your business, thrive or fail. So we have that power. So I think the more people are attuned to that, we can certainly, make a big difference.
Salvage, look at that comment from Nurse Chula. That is the thing with black women, is where, hey, I can't find my foundation complexion. Now, I talked about Revlon, and I had the conversation with Shayla last week on the show. And we were saying Revlon has come a very long way, because there was only one particular shade for the brown girl when you went to the Revlon or the CoverGirl aisle. And any pharmacy, department store, wherever it may be, yeah, Revlon was mostly in the pharmacy, so they wanted everyday women to be able to consume it. But if you were to go to that CoverGirl or the Maybelline or the Revlon aisle, you would see one or two, maybe two shades for the brown girl, but not for women who are me and Salvage's complexion. If for the brown girl,
Yes.
one shade. Or you would have to, if you are a model. I remember Naomi Campbell saying this, that she would literally have to take her mom's fashion fair when doing fashion shows in Paris, because the makeup artist backstage that they had would not know how to compliment the brown skin tone on the brown girl. So that's how far we've come. And then years later, you want to know who broke that mold? And she's one of my favorite fashion icons, Rihanna. Rihanna came
Uh,
along and gave us 50, not one, not
yes.
two, not 15, but 50 foundation shades to complement every single skin tone across the spectrum. And then
There you go.
years after that, you had Kylie Cosmetics. Kylie Jenner started doing it. Makeup Forever started doing it. What's another one? Smashbox started doing it. All of these brands took off of a trend that a black woman started. But the first, before Rihanna, there was Iman. We keep forgetting
Mm-hmm.
about Iman, because Iman said, okay, for my brown sisters out here, because I am a woman of color, I'm from Somalia, I am
Yes.
going to go ahead and create a foundation brand for women
Yes.
of color. But before Iman, it was Naomi Sims. We can't forget about her. And she said, we're going
Right.
to give women lipsticks. We're going to give them foundations. We're going to give them powders. We're going to give them all of these things that they need. Because going into the beauty aisle, as you see the model, and it's typically a fair skinned model, and they've got their shades in beige and classic beige and ivory. Those are the shades that the typical average Caucasian woman would wear. But it's just like, what about us? We like
Yes.
makeup too. We like to look pretty. Why
Yes.
not us?
Yes. We are women too. We are women too. We want to look and represent our femininity for what it
Yeah.
is. And why exclude? Why exclude? I absolutely agree with you 100%.
So we're seeing a lot of beauty brands be open to us, give us shades that complement our skin tones as well, too, even as it pertains to blush. Because when we put on blush, sometimes they'll say, oh, it looks ghostly on me, because And I've seen a TikTok video with the model, and she was getting her makeup done, and she said, "Wait, this doesn't look like me. This is not my shade." And I was pretty upset about it. Salvage girl, when I tell you I was upset, I said, "Now why y'all do this to her? You couldn't find her the products to complement her hair texture, and then you did her makeup, and it doesn't look like her. She looks ghostly." And typically when we do get our makeup done, like how both of our faces are done today, as you guys see, it's beautiful
Yeah.
because we know how to complement our skin tones. For this model, who was a model of color, she was a brown girl, very beautiful, and they gave her a shade and she looked gray. And I'm just like, wait a minute. Now, why aren't there more? I had to get on. I had to say something like, why are they not hiring ethnic
Yeah.
makeup artists who understand the brown skin tone? That is a
Thank
problem.
you. Yeah. 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 I agree. I agree. I did a show before, and I knew obviously when I got there the makeup artist would be, obviously different, like to know the level of, her knowledge. So I did my own makeup. So when I arrived, they said, "Oh, you did your own makeup?" I said, "Yes." So I said, "You can touch up, but I've done my makeup," because I knew I didn't want to compromise on the look, because there's a certain look that she's not aware of. She didn't know me. And so I pretty much went around that and said, let me leave, do my own makeup. When I arrive, it's just a touch up. And then there's no compromise on how I feel and how I look. So that solved my problem. I didn't have to do that, but I had to.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, models back in the day would have to provide their own makeup because it's just like, okay, I already know what's going to happen if I don't bring my foundation or my powder or whatever setting, whatever it may be. If I don't bring this, they're gonna have me looking any kind of way they want me to look. And it's just like when I look in the mirror, like the model was in tears in the video, and I'm just like, wow. Like I feel so bad for her. My heart went out to her because I'm like, as a black woman,
Yeah.
I understand this because
Yeah.
we have an array of skin tones. Like we come from the deepest of the deepest, the mochas of the mochas, the chocolates of the chocolates, more brown than the other. And then you have the caramel, the all latte, all of these different rich shades of melanin. So it's just like
Yes.
you're going to have some that are going to have more red undertone, some that are going to have more gold undertone. Everybody's skin tone is different. I know I pick up more gold than anything. And
That's
my
me.
mom is about the
Yeah.
same complexion. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. My daughter is on the red because of Caribbean heritage as well as European heritage.
Oh, yeah.
She's got the more. So she's like, you're brown orange, mom, and I'm a red orange. I'm a brown red, because you can totally see the difference when we put our skills together. I say, how diverse. We look the same, but you see how different we are, because of, most times I say that's the thing about embracing ourselves and our shades. We have to
Absolutely.
be. Yeah.
And that's what it is. And when young girls see us, it's just like, okay, if she's beautiful, I can do it too. I can do my makeup like this. And I didn't start really learning about makeup until maybe I want to say 11 or 12 years old. And I'm pretty sure you heard of Mary Kay Salvaged. My mom, I snuck in my mom's Mary Kay. She would stash it somewhere around the house. And then what she would do is she would booby trap it. And I would go and find it. And she'll know that somebody's been in her makeup. So Mary Kay was the first makeup brand that I've got exposed to, and of course I knew about Avon and things like that because we have family and friends who would sell it and give it to us, for us to try. But Mary Kay was the first, and then after that, as I got into my high school years, I started learning about Smashbox. I started learning about Cover FX. I started learning about MAC. All of these big high-end beauty brands, Anastasia. It's so many that are on the market. It's just like, and then my cousin took me to Sephora. Was it Ulta Beauty? And I went in there and I was just like, where do I begin? It's so many brands, but what I love is that they finally didn't exclude me. I feel included.
Yes.
They didn't
Yes.
forget the brown girl
Yes.
because we know that that's
That
an issue.
Yes. Amazing. That is such a big deal. And that's a world that our children, and the generations to come want to feel included in everything, So I think, as I mentioned, there's that shift that is happening, that consciousness, and even, Barbies. And now with obviously, again, looking at, able-bodied people shouldn't overshadow disabled people. So they also have to be included. And everyone who belongs in this world should be included.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are talking beauty right now, fashion dolls. Before we close out this amazing conversation, because we're gonna ask Salvage her top 5 favorite fragrances at the end of the show, but she customized the fragrance for me, and she gave me she asked me what were some of the notes that I admired the most, and I gave her a list of them. I sent her one at first, and then she said, no, give me more. What else do you love? I love vetiver. I love lilac. I like vanilla. I like sandalwood. I like oud. I like all of these different variations of scents. And when I got it and I smelt it, because it took a little while because it came from the UK, and my mom finally gave me my package, and I smelt it. I was smelling it through the package. I could smell it through the package. That's how potent it was. And my mom smelled it, and I'm just like, yeah, this smells like something you would wear. Because I like a little bit of strong. I like a little bit of light. I like a little bit of sultry and sexy. And she blended basically my whole personality into this one little bottle. And I'm looking now, and I still smell it in the bottle, and it smells amazing. So, Salvaged, how did you manage to combine all of the things that I sent you? Because she messaged me an email. She said, "What do you like? What are some things that you like?" I said, "Vanilla, lilac, lang lang was one of the notes. Neroli was one of the notes." And she threw in some suggestions to me as well too. And she asked me, would you like? What about this note? What about this note?" I said, "Well, add it in. I'm all of these notes. I love lilac. I love tulip. I love orchid. I love all of these different things. Put it all in this bottle." So, Salvage, the creating process for this linen and fragrance mist, what was it like creating the scent?
Oh, this is where I come alive, and I'm sure I would say my ancestors are probably dancing on my shoulders. It's just something that it's a focus, and some I think also just having that I'll say enhanced sense of smell tends to make you sort of kind of have I think a unique liking to different
Oh, yeah.
things. And yes, so when I actually blended the first day, I had to wait on it until the next day to see that everything had actually set. That way, I was, going to be able to say whether or not I should, add more of, something that you even like more, so you can actually bring it out even more. So it's something that I play around with. I put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then I sort of kind of combine it, and then I'll take a break, and sometimes I do it halfway. I take a break or the next day, and because I use pure essential oils, I do not use synthetics or artificial fragrances, and that way it's something that's pleasant for your health as well. And that's one of the things that I wanted to focus on, to kind of reduce toxins and have something that's pleasant. And so that's sort of how I put it together. And I also called it Tropical Dream. The idea, because of some of the exotic flowers that we love. And I thought, this is actually a tropical dream. And that's another thing. Coming up with names is a bit, exciting. And I find, so I thought, should I say Steve Tropical Dream? Or I said, you know what, I'll leave it as is. We'll just do a tropical dream. And I don't know if you saw my attempted palm tree at the back of it. It's at the bottom of the bottle.
Yep, I surely do see it. There it is. I love it.
Yeah. So that was, the fun part. I think it's about honoring your sense of smell. because it's unique and personal. For that reason, it's important to make for my clients to actually have something, a pleasant smell and something that you love. That actually is extra, because oftentimes you can identify certain smells, but sometimes you can't. And so I wanted to make sure that you're able to identify it's something that, you know, really speaks with you and resonates with you. And it's all of your favorite smells. That's the first part. And that way you get to actually enjoy it. Yeah, so that's sort of how I do it. Sometimes I do it over a period of, you know, 2 days, having to think about which note do you want to be more dominant. And sometimes it could be some smells are more stronger than others, some are more dominant than others. But to be able to get to that, you know, ratio where everything is blended beautifully, it takes a while. And, you know, I say, okay, it's a risk. Let's see. I've done it. I'm happy with it. And I think she's going to like it. It's just, again, it's love that I put in there and hoping that you absolutely love it as well. But I say you can't go wrong with someone's favorite. So that's how I approach it.
And I'm smelling it now, and it smells clean and seductive. All of the notes that I sent you. And that's what I love. I love a fragrance, as you stated, is someone's signature. When you walk into a room and someone's like, oh my God, you smell so good. What are you wearing? You're drawing, it's like a pheromone. People are addicted. They want more of it. It's just like, what is it? And the fragrance that did it for me back in the day would have to be Christian Dior's Poison, because it was so intoxicated. It was just like when you walked past a woman and she's wearing that fragrance, it's like, what? It gives you a sweet headache, but at the same time, it's just like, what smells so divine? So those
Wow.
are the type of scents that I love, and you definitely captured that in this bottle through all of the
Yeah.
things that I love.
Yes. Oh, thank you. And yeah, so again, you know, the multi-use aspect of it also is sort of give an opportunity to use it for more than just a perfume. It's a fragrance for yourself. Also, you know, I have some clients that want like pillow spray. So I do tailor and make I'll say chamomile with rose geranium. That's one of my popular sellers because it does contain sort of calming effects. And depending if, you know, an individual likes, you know, chamomile, able to say, you know, I'm having sleep troubles. I would like to create an ambience in my bedroom. What do you recommend? So then I tailor it based on your need, based on your sense of smell as well. So they are all sort of useful in other aspects as well. Some requested. I got two clients recently who were, one was going to Thailand and the other one was going to India. They asked for one of my, I'll say, current scents. It's called Bag Off. So it is a Bag Off. It is a mosquito repellent, a bag and mosquito repellent. So again, it's tailored for their need, and it does have citronella. And to tone down the sharpness of that citronella, I added lemon verbena. So
Mm.
it's almost like fresh and fragrant, but also does, you know, doing the job, which is, you know, getting rid of bugs and mosquitoes. So, you know, they're all tailored for a specific reason. Meditation blend, for example, the oud is one that I blend also sometimes with sandalwood. That's gained a lot of popularity, and that's one of my favorites as well. So for that reason, people tend to gravitate towards certain scents. And some don't even know their own sense of smell, and they're like, you know, can you help me? And so I said, you know, let's go back to your childhood. What are some of the favorite smells you liked?
Oh, yeah.
Or yeah, so try to, you know, get to bring out, you know, someone's maybe forgotten, you know, that self-care element of what do you like to smell? Let's create something that you can enjoy. And oftentimes it smiles at the end of the day, and everybody's like, I can't believe you did something that I love, you know. So that fills my heart with joy.
And not only that, what I love about your stuff is that you use essential oils. And we know that essential oils help us relax when we go to sleep at night. So you said use it as a pillow mist as well. So she told me shake it up, and I would spray it on my pillow every night before I go to bed. And when I tell you, I would wake up and I would still smell it, and it would be refreshing. It would be relaxing and all of these things. Because I sleep with an eye mask when I go to bed at night. and I just tone out, lights out, everything, tone out. And the scent just made me just at ease. Like when I waked up in the morning, I'm just like, okay, it smells great in here. I'm relaxed, I'm at ease, and I can start my day. So a scent is supposed to relax you, like lavender, and you mentioned chamomile. These are scents that are supposed to relax you. Eucalyptus is another one as well too, like for stress. So I know my grandmother, she uses eucalyptus. So it sort of puts your mind at ease and releases tension as well. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And with eucalyptus, obviously from childhood again, I use it when I sort of have the cold as well. I've used it with my daughter. You get the actual fresh leaves and then put them in a little bowl or and then add hot water and then cover up. So you get two benefits, steam your face as well as open those sinuses.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those are things that we definitely need. Like you said, when with your grandmother, when I asked you about your business, you always find a remedy to create something, and you pull the leaves from something, and you can soak them and create your own teas. And there's so many things that you could do with your essential oils that help with sinuses and allergies as well too. So such a great conversation, Fashion Dolls. I hope you guys enjoyed it to sort of take your mind off and you could be at ease today. Today's show was totally focused on self-care. With everything that's going on, I wanted you guys to have just like a cleanse today. And this show was today my cleanse for you guys because so much going on this election cycle. I also want to be critical and make sure that you guys are taking care of yourself. So before we close out this amazing conversation, I want to ask my girl Salvaged, what are some of her top 5 go-to fragrances that she wears on a daily? And I know for me, one of them, which is and I'm pretty sure you've seen it. Victoria's Secret Bombshell is one of my favorite go-to scents that I wear, and I instantly get compliments on it. If not that one, then Beyonce's Pulse. So right when I walk into a room, you can smell it on me. And my mom, she smelled it. I walked past her, and she's like, "What are you wearing?" And I showed her the bottle. She forgot about it because I have so many fragrances. I'm always mixing things and coming up with my own custom scent. So I told her, "This is Beyonce Pulse. This is what I'm wearing today, Beyonce Pulse." And I showed her the bottle, and she was just enamored by it. It was so beautiful. But Salvage, for you, what are your top 5 go-to perfumes that you love to wear?
Oh, this is an easy one because most times I almost like do a dowsing ritual. So, I would do a rose geranium
Oh,
blend of that and love. Yes, it's gorgeous. And then I do a little bit of oud, and then I blend in some verbena. And yeah, it depends on how I feel. And sometimes, and also it's by how I feel, my mood also, inspires me to say, well, I'm going to a very intense meeting or meeting other
mm,
people. So I'm like, okay, I need to
mm.
ground so it's inspired by events and things that I'm doing, and so I would go for something that's a little bit grounding or woody. Another one that I love, it's North American cedarwood. It's a woody one. I think that feeds my masculine side, which is absolutely, it makes me feel untouchable, like so I just go by how I feel, and just kind of mix up things. And but I definitely say oud is in the list of my favorites, and then a rose geranium, and lemon verbena. Yeah.
It's something about oud, for real quick before we wrap up, it's something about oud that is sexy. It's just like, okay, it's masculine and feminine at the same time. And it's just like mystery. It leaves a lasting impression on people where it's just like, what is this smell? So when you smell oud or you smell leather and you smell all of these different things, oud is going to definitely be the one that's going to stand out the most because it's so rich, it's so decadent, it's indulgent, and it leaves it's sensuous and sultry in a way, and it's powerful. So it's not going to overpower anything else, but that is definitely one that I like too.
Yeah, it is. I get it a lot when I'm traveling or if I hug people. Some of this, I would say part of this work, I've met some amazing, amazing human beings who are going through, challenging times. And in those
Yeah.
moments where you have a question and, I said, you are welcome if do hugs. I'm happy to give you a hug. Thank you for sharing your story. And so the minute I hug, it would be like a very tight hug. I says, oh, I love that smell. And it's always the oud that gets that attention. And I realize there's something to it. There's really, really something special.
It is going to stand out. It is definitely going to stand out. So before we close out, Salvage, what is some advice that you would give to young black women who are watching both of us and they're saying, wow, the two beautiful black women, successful, achieving their goals, going after their passions. What would you say to young brown girls that are watching both of us right now?
So one of the things I would say first, you are valued, you matter. From within, you have to feel love for yourself. And when you feel love for yourself, you feel love for your family and people around you. Be open to taking risks and speak until someone listens to you and never give up.
Absolutely. And I'm going to add on to what she just said. Today's final thought comes from Toni Morrison, and she says, freeing yourself was one thing, claiming ownership of that freed self was another. And as Salvage just stated, you know your worth. As a black girl, you deserve so much more and then some. When they tell you, oh, you don't deserve to be in these spaces, you prove them wrong and you let them know that I deserve to be here just like you. Why I can't do it because I'm a woman, I can do it, and I will show you. So you have to prove people wrong in this day and age. And I've always been the one to take risk, as Salvage also just mentioned. And that's for any young black girl. If you want to go to college, you want to go to school, don't ever give up on your dreams. Don't ever give up on your vision. You know your worth and your value, and you are owed everything that is due to you. To any young black girl out there, you are the world. You are powerful. You are unique. You are divine in your own right. And you have a purpose to be in these spaces, just like any other man would. Because I know men will say, well, oh, what are you doing here? Well, I came for the job too. I want to work too. This is something I want to do. So to the men that doubt young girls, or boys that doubt young girls, or just that are just full with misogyny in their heart, we can be in the spaces just like you can be in those spaces as well too.
Mhm.
So remember
Well
that.
said. Thank you. I love that. Well said. And
I had to, girl. I had to, because they be trying it. The fellas, they'll try it. They be like, "Yeah, you can't do it because you're a woman and you don't deserve to be here." I've had two male co-hosts on the show, Salvage, with me, and they were guys, and they were just like, "We understand where she's coming from." Because when I speak for all women, for all black
absolutely.
women, from all
Yes.
walks of life, because we get it the worst in this country. And now that we have Kamala Harris, who's
Mhm.
close to being the next president of the United States, uh, we black women, we have been the bullseye of disrespect on a daily, from misogyny to racism.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yes.
end. So I had to say something, because I'm just like, I'm seeing what's going on, and I'm like, I have sisters, I have a mother, I have a grandmother. So they're women, I'm a woman. When
Yeah.
I speak, I want to speak for them as well too. And I can't exclude any woman right now when black women are getting the most disrespect. And so
No, absolutely.
thank you all for writing us the Dear Black Women letters and checking in on us. It's imperative. And that's why I dedicated this show to all of us in this crazy election cycle, because it's important and key that we take care of ourselves. We are all we got. As black women and as black people, we are all we got. So we got to make sure that we protect ourselves. So before we go, Salvage, where can everyone follow you and check you out, girl? I had such a great time.
Oh, it's an honor and a pleasure to have been part of this show. I am on Instagram, and luckily, still work in progress. I've not posted a link to my online store. So, you are more than welcome to purchase, sprays, but, I'm reachable. And this is the thing, connecting with people is so important. I'm not a big corporation. And so reach out to a sister, reach out to me. Let's talk about what you like. If you want to create something, whether it's anxiety relief, etc. My online store is actually on my Instagram profile. So there's a link there. Yes. So feel free to reach out to me and follow the page and say that you can get yourself a bottle of personal blend or bespoke blend made just for you.
Absolutely, fashion dolls. Make sure you guys go and support Salvage. Check her out. And it was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you, Sunshine. One of my good girlfriends is here. Hey, girl.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sunshine. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and
Oh,
I miss you. Um,
thank you.
Joining me tomorrow, we have Sean Samuels, but this is what we needed today. We needed just a detox. After yesterday's DNC, we had all the beautiful black women on stage, from Maxine Waters to Madam Vice President Kamala to, I mean, it was so many. Jasmine Crockett, it was so many. But we needed this too. We needed to take a moment for us. So I love y'all. I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to, again, continue to protect your mental health and peace. And black women, we are worthy. Remember that. I love y'all, and y'all take care.
All right. Thank you,
You're
Stevie.
welcome,
It's such a joy.
girl.